Thunderbolts is out on Disney Plus, so that gives you a good opportunity for the people who didn't go see it in theaters to finally watch it at home, be all nice and relaxed. In this video, I'm going to talk about my opinion of the movie, kind of talk about some of the characters and all that stuff a little bit, and what that has to do with some of the other movies going forward. So let's check it out. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Brandon. I talk about a bunch of things Disney, from movies to TV shows and all that good stuff. If you are subscribed to my channel, welcome back. If you aren't, please think about subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. And so, like I said, we are going to be talking about the Thunderbolts today. And I'm gonna kind of break it up a little bit. I'm gonna talk about all the characters and then kind of give you my take on it, and then kind of some other things that I think may happen with it, because you know we got Avengers Doomsday that everybody's nonstop talking about. And so in this video as well, towards the end, I'm gonna kind of give you my ideas of some things that we can see in Avengers Doomsday. For the first part of the video, I'm going to kind of talk about the characters for a little bit. So the first one we're going to talk about is John Walker, or better known as U.S. Agent. He's played by Wyatt Russell, and we've kind of seen him a little bit in the MCU. He hasn't really been in the big time, like big theater movies yet. He was kind of set up in Falcon in the Winter Soldier, and so if you hadn't watched that, you're kind of wondering who he is. And then you kind of get glimpses of that, of him referring to stuff in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with how he talks about, oh, I was former Captain America and all the other stuff that happens there. Next character we're going to talk about is Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. He's played by Sebastian Stan. Now, this character we have actually seen in the MCU big, like movie side of things. He really saw him first in Captain America Winter Soldier, and then we ended up seeing him again in Civil War. Don't know why it took me so long to figure out which one he was in again. And then you saw him in Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. So that character we kind of know a little bit about, and then we get to see more of him in, again, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, because he's also in that as well, along with John Walker. Next character we have up is Yelena Belova. I think I pronounced that right. She is the Black Widow in this, is what she's referred to as. I think she kind of took over that mantle after what happened in Avengers Endgame. This character we have seen yet again, just like Bucky Barnes. We have seen him her in the movie side of things. She was kind of one of the main pieces in the solo Black Widow movie that happened, and we see her a little bit also in TV within the Hawkeye series, kind of towards the later few episodes. But other than that, we really don't get too much of a Yelena, like, kind of big action part movie until Thunderbolts. Next up, we got Alexei Shostakov, or better known as the Red Guardian. Again, he's kind of the same way as Yelena as far as being recognized. He didn't really have anything in TV-wise, unless you really count the What If series on Disney Plus, that cartoon where him and Bucky kind of teamed up. So if you wanted to count that, you could. I really wouldn't count it. It wouldn't be like Yelena, how she was in Hawkeye, so I really wouldn't fully count that. But we've still seen him in the big movies. We've seen him in the Black Widow movie as well, right with Yelena's character as well. You're also probably thinking to yourself, man, Red Guardian also looks really, really similar. Yes, that is David Harbour. If you've watched Stranger Things, you've probably recognized him, because that is what he is from. Next up on the character list of people that we've already seen in some capacity in the MCU, we have Ava Starr, which is also Ghost, who's played by Hannah John Kamen. And again, this is one that we've really only seen on the big screens, and it's kind of been a little bit since we've seen this character. The only other time we've really ever seen this character before was way back in Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, is kind of being one of the big bads of the movie. So it's kind of nice to see that character finally reprising their role and being a part of the MCU yet again. Moving right along, we're down to our last two characters that we have seen in the MCU before. Next up, we have Taskmaster, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna attempt to butcher that name, so I'm just gonna leave that probably somewhere right down here. This character is just like kind of a little bit with Red Guardian, where we've really only seen this character before in the standalone Black Widow movie. So if you hadn't kind of seen that, you're probably wondering, oh hey, this is a brand new character. And the last character that we have coming up that we have already seen before is Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Imagine trying to say that 5 times fast throughout the whole entire movie. So that's why everybody just calls her Val most of the time. And I'm really glad that they do that, because again, having to say that name multiple times would be a mouthful. I had to look at that on my phone because I know good and well I couldn't have got that right. She is played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus. And again, this character we have seen before, not only on the big screens, we have seen her in the TV world as well. I actually seen her in 2 TV shows. I was kind of think maybe it's 1, but there's actually 2. The first one we kind of see her in is again the Falcon and Winter Soldier. No, we'll scratch that. No, yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Sorry, I had a ginormous brain fart there. She's in there. She kind of gives John Walker his U.S. agent title after all that stuff of him being Captain America doesn't work out. And then we see her again in kind of the post-credit scene of Black Widow, where she kind of gives that mission to go find Hawkeye, and then that kind of leads her into her showing up a little bit in the Hawkeye series. Not super big amount there. And then I think, if I remember correctly, she does make an appearance in the Wakanda Forever as well. So though she's not had like super huge roles in all those ones, she's still kind of relevant as far as characters who you've seen on some capacity versus some of our other ones. Now moving into some new characters that are kind of new specifically just to the Thunderbolts. First one is Mel. This is kind of Val's assistant, which I really liked. Her role, some people would think, isn't super big, and she doesn't really get seen a whole lot. You kind of see her early in the beginning, and then she kind of goes off a little bit, and she has some small roles here and there. But I would argue that her kind of involvement in the movie kind of helps set up and kind of make it how it is. So, again, I really don't think she's much of like a side character. I think she kind of fits in there with being as part of those big name people, as in like Val, Bucky, Elena, and all those other people. Coming into our last new character, we have Robert Reynolds, which you kind of hear that name. Val throws it all around a little bit. Mel does too, but I think everybody else refers to him as Bob, and not to be confused with this Bob.
Call you
Bob?
But we're actually talking about this one right here.
Hey, I'm Bob.
And this one, again, he's also known as Sentry and the Void, and he kind of takes the mantle of this movie's, I would say, quintessential bad guy. One can make an argument that Val, in the end, is really the bad one for this movie. You be the judge of that, and you let me know, is Sentry or the Void, or is Val really the bad one in there? watch the movie and come back and let me know down in the comments. Now that we've kind of talked about the characters a little bit, time to give you my takes on the movie. And I thought the movie was really good. One thing I really liked about it is it really gave me if you ever watched either of the Suicide Squads that the DCU's made, it really gave me a little bit of a Suicide Squad type vibe. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that a little bit. Let me know that in the comments if you thought that. And I mean, if you really think about it, you could really see it. Val being the quintessential person who brought all these people together, just like the one character in the Suicide Squad did, brought them all together. But they kind of had really way different approaches to it. So that's one kind of vibe I get throughout the movie, is it's a little bit of like a Suicide Squad-esque type feel. Some other thoughts on the movie is I really think it's great because it finally gives us a chance that some of our characters that, again, are lesser well known or didn't really have big standout roles in their original movies or TV shows that they were in, it kind of gives them a chance to be like the, hey, quintessential person here now, which Yelena really gets her big role here. Red Guardian kind of a little bit more. We kind of get to see a different side of Bucky now because he's a quote-unquote congressman. We kind of seen him turn a page a little bit. You kind of see him turning that page a little bit in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. But, I mean, now it's big screen. You see, hey, he has really turned it all around. He's trying to be a good guy for once, which is, I think, really cool because of, if you followed his story arc from being a bad guy to now he's a good guy, it's really interesting to watch. Some more thoughts I thought was really cool is I think this was a team up that we all didn't know we really needed. And I think it's really nice because you have some comic relief parts in it that kind of make you laugh and chuckle. And then you also have some parts that are a little bit serious. And you could see all these characters kind of like styles of how they're supposed to be superheroes or villains that they were, just kind of all clashing together and kind of trying to work together is really funny. And you kind of really see that early in the movie, and then it kind of progresses more as it goes on. Last good thing that I will say about the movie that I really enjoyed was we finally get like this Marvel's version of what I would consider to be Superman. I mean, though they were probably made two completely different ways, we know Superman's story and how he came to be. Sentry, his way, it's not really well known, but I mean, if you really sit there and look at it and you were trying to put a DCU character to Marvel equivalent, I think Sentry would be your really top choice. Let me know down in the comments if you think that, or if there's another DCU character that really closely resembles Sentry. Now that I've talked about the good side of the movie, I just want to talk about the few, not that many, few bad things that I really didn't like about the movie. And the first one is essentially killing off Taskmaster. And look, in my opinion, that character could have been done so much better, and they could have played it a little bit better with it. I mean, you had the origins a little bit when you set it up in the Black Widow movie. I just feel like you could have made it so much better. And with, hey, the interview that Kevin Feige had where he said, hey, after Secret Wars, we're essentially getting a rewipe. Who knows? We may get a more true comic book version of the Taskmaster and actually be more villainous than they were in Thunderbolts. Because, I mean, if you really watch Thunderbolts, there's about a total of possibly 10, maybe 15 seconds of screen time with Taskmaster till it's hasta la bye-bye.
I'm not here for you. There you are.
Now what?
Oh, get over yourself. Stay out of my way.
Moving into my second thing that I feel like it's really debatable if you want to call it a bad thing or it's just me being nitpicky, is the fact that they switched the name of it at the very end from Thunderbolts to the New Avengers. Yes, we see that it helps kind of carry what we're going to see in Doomsday a little bit, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but I thought it would have been really, really cool, especially with now that we have Red Hulk, that we could have had that actual Thunderbolts group. And I think if we go back to comic books, I think a lot of those characters that we saw in the movie are ones that are actually in the comic book Thunderbolts. So it would have been really, really cool to actually see them maybe have a Thunderbolts 2, or who even knows, have a Thunderbolts series where it kind of follows like how the comic books work. So now moving in a little bit more, talking about the movie, there was I think a lot of people from some of the reviews I've also read to it too, that there was a really, really cool underlying message throughout the whole movie, and it was mental illness. Because I mean, you sit there and see Bob's story of it, of why he essentially became the Sentry and the Void and all of his stuff, and then you really see it a lot more with, I would say, this movie's main character with Yelena. Is, I mean, she was sitting there being so mundane, going through the motions day to day, that she didn't even realize that in the beginning of the movie that there was two, I mean, just straight black figures in the lab that she was assigned to blow up. And if you're coming to see this after watching it, go back and watch it. And if you didn't notice it in theaters, definitely go back and watch it, and you'll notice that you see those two guards that Bob killed in the very beginning of the movie. You just see their black voidness just sitting there, which is kind of interesting and makes you think, how long were those things just like there, and were they ever gonna like disappear? It's kind of interesting if you really sit there and think about it.
Hi. Now that's a face that can open a scanner.
Did Valentina send you?
This research is property of Ox Group.
There,
You're gonna tell me how I don't understand.
We made
and how you've made a real breakthrough.
Here.
And how it's going to change the world.
No, it could end the world. Valentina doesn't understand what happened here.
Look, blame the US government for their pesky investigation. Now we have to get rid of all of this stuff. You think I like taking orders? Going from job to job, doing the same thing?
So I think that's one message that the movie kind of portrays. Another message that I think it kind of portrays a little bit, I think this one's kind of more with Yelena, and I think it does tie in with Bob a little bit too, is that you're never alone. That like your situation could be completely terrible and you could be going through some rough things in your life, but there's always going to be somebody there to help you through it, that you're never truly alone. And I really liked that they had had that type of message, because I mean, in today's society, a lot of people focus on mental illness, and having that person for you and understanding that, hey, like, you have somebody that you can talk to is really nice, because again, if not, then you just have these really, really bad feelings and can end up on a really, really bad road that you don't need to be on. Before I get into my thoughts of what the Thunderbolts are going to do possibly in Doomsday, if you've stayed through this long into the video, that means you've liked what you've seen, so think about hitting that like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. I've really enjoyed making all these videos, and I'm hoping to keep making a lot of more, and seeing that subscriber number go up really motivates me to keep making these videos. If you're like me, we all probably sat there and watched the table or the chairs casting chair reveal of all the character names currently that are going to be in Avengers Doomsday. And we noticed that all of the Thunderbolts were in it except for Taskmaster, which kind of, I think, in a lot of people's minds, spoiled Thunderbolts for them, that they knew, oh, well, Taskmaster's gonna disappear. Oh, it's not fair. I mean, I really don't think it really mattered too much. If you sat there and looked at movie posters of Thunderbolts, you could kind of see the hint a little bit that she wasn't going to be around that long. And I think if you actually looked at a trailer, the one with the big fight scene with Bob, that I think she may have been standing there, and then during like post-production with like some editing and all that stuff, they got rid of her. So,
And there are worse guys, and nothing else. Look at you. So adorable.
it's not really a big thing that she's gone. Nevertheless, what do I think that is going to happen to them? First thing, sorry, I was looking at my notes because I got off track. I think there could be a mini Civil War-esque fight somewhere in Doomsday. So you got to think about it. Val came out and said, hey, these are the Avengers.
Secretly, to develop a new age of protection. Today, the citizens of the United States needed that protection, and thanks to my hard work, they got it. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the new Avengers.
But if you think back to Captain America Brave New World, the president sat there and said, hey, I want you to rebuild the Avengers. And at the end of it, we see that Sam Wilson actually going through with that. A lot of people probably didn't think that, but I mean, let's be real. He's giving the mantle of Falcon to his right-hand wingman that he had, and he is wanting to build the Avengers. Kind of interested to see who his Avenger group could be. My argument would probably be Shang-Chi would probably be thrown into the mix. I think Hulk would probably be on his side, and who knows who else would possibly be on his side. Let me know down in the comments of who you think would be on Sam Wilson's Avenger lineup group. So another thing that I think also kind of ties into the mini Avengers fight is I think you could also see a glimpse of an Ant-Man and Ghost reunitement. Remember, those were big foes in Ant-Man 2, and both of them are confirmed to be in Avengers Doomsday. So kind of be interesting to see how they reunite, and just Ant-Man addressing the fact that y'all are sitting there saying, oh, well, y'all think she's a good person. Well, she was doing all these bad things way back in my movie, so I don't know if I should really trust her. So I think that's another fight type of scenario that we could see as well. Another big thing that I think could also, or would be really interesting to see what happens with this character in Avengers Doomsday is Sentry, essentially Bob. Do they kind of just leave him on the sidelines, leave him in the bullpen, and don't use him until they absolutely really need him? Or is he like their first, like, hey, here's Victor Von Doom. We can't really do much with him. We got this secret weapon that they don't know about. Let's use Bob. And see what he does with it. Or does Victor Von Doom try to play a way that he turns him into the Void and has the Void do all of Victor Von Doom's dirty work? Only time will tell. I cannot wait till that movie comes out next year. Y'all let me know down in the comments if you are excited for Avengers Doomsday as much as I am. Last thing on the Thunderbolts and Avengers Doomsday, I'm really curious to see if John Walker gets his kind of Captain America-esque moment like Sam did and like our original Captain America did. I would think it'd be really cool. I think I saw somebody speculated in my comments when I made a TikTok video of John Walker that it would be really cool if we see him get like the exact Captain America moment that we saw in Avengers Endgame where he gets to pick up Thor's hammer. I think that would be really interesting. Again, only time will tell what really happens to these characters and will they stay these characters? Because again, like Kevin Feige mentioned before in a recent interview, after Secret Wars, just about every character we know and love that we've seen through all this time is going to get wiped out. Only one that's going to stay true, or I think now two, because I've seen recent things that they said there's going to be another character, is Thor's going to still end up being Chris Hemsworth and Scarlet Witch. Those two are supposedly safe from being recasted. I'm not 100% sure, but I think those two, I know Thor for certain is 100% safe. Kevin Feige himself has said that. I've seen articles and snippets that says that Scarlet Witch may be safe as well. Let me know down in the comments if that's true or not. I'm not 100% sure, but it would be interesting to see that character as well survive everything that happens as well. And that is it for my kind of breakdown and thoughts on Thunderbolts. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about Thunderbolts and what your plans or thoughts are for the Thunderbolt group as we inch closer to Avengers Doomsday and what you think their roles will be in the movie. Again, let me know down in the comments your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, stay magical.